Harley Quinn, episode 10, The Horse and the Sparrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of Harley Quinn, and I felt we should have reached the end last week because last week was like the perfect season finale with everything that happened. So I sat here thinking what could possibly go on in this particular episode to be a season finale worthy, and I forgot we still got to do the damn Bruce Wayne documentary that they've been shooting literally all season. And it's your boy Icon with some DC animated TV doing the season finale of Harley Quinn. So this episode literally picks up where the last one ends, where Ivy is in the middle going, fuck. And then she gets mad at Harley, and then she's like, oh, why did you stop my plan? And then Harley's like, oh, I don't know. I don't understand what happened. And then she's like, well, when you figure it out, come find me. The amount of slang that was used in this. And I love Frank. Like, Frank is the shit. Like, when he was like, deuces. And then, then like they left. So now Harley's like, she's trying to figure out like what's going on and like what the problem is. She's walking around. And while she's walking around, the crowd, the fans, the public, the good people of Gotham, they're applauding her. They're cheering for her. They're chanting her name. And Batgirl was making it worse because she was like, everybody give it up for Harley Quinn, the savior of Gotham. And then everybody's clapping and everything. And then like Harley's getting upset because she's just like, yo, I'm not a hero. So she's like, stop cheering for me. And then, she gets upset. She's all confused and then she walks away. Ivy now, she's walking around the supermarket and she's trying to figure out, what's going on with her life. She's trying to figure out what's her next steps. How can she continue to terraform the earth and what Harley did and blah, blah, blah. And then while she's sitting there going through like her transformation, trying to figure out what she's doing, here comes good old Lex Luthor, L squared, double L, if you will, Lexi in the house. And he popped up on right on the television. And he said to her, and even Frank said this to her. Frank said that she was going to get complimented like 3 times within 24 hours. But Frank also said that Ivy's power, now that she tapped into the green, is some downright cool baller ass shit. He said that you're so powerful. He said you're such a villain. You had to literally stop yourself from your own evil villainy. He was like, that's how baller you are because nobody else could stop you. So Lex obviously he picked up on that and he was just like, I want you to restart the Legion of Doom. So of course Ivy was just like, fuck off. But then he was just like, I'll grant your terms, whatever terms you wish. And then she was just like, I want an insane ass load amount of money. And then Frank was just like, get that paper down. and then she was like, 2, she wants full control, like no backseat talking. This, that, and the third. And then 3, she said she doesn't want to have to babysit Bane. So then Lex agreed to the terms and she was like, oh shit. But he said that in order for her to get the position, she needs to kill the Joker, because now that the Joker is mayor of Gotham, he put a law into effect where there's a tax on super villain like hideouts, and Lex, being the penny pincher that he is, he don't want to pay that tax. So he wants Joker dead so they can get rid of that tax law. So now Ivy goes back home. Harley's there. She's still apologizing for what happened. And then that's when Ivy tells her, like, listen, like Lex put me in charge of the Legion of Doom. And then Harley was just like, well, what did he say when you told him you weren't going to do it? And then she was like, oh, I am going to do it. And then, Harley was like, okay, why? And then Ivy was like, you're not on board with this. But Harley was like, sure. She was like, anything, because she feels guilty about stopping her with the terraforming thing. So she was just like, hey, if you want to kill the Joker, I'm all in, and let's do the damn thing with this Legion of Doom shit. Meanwhile, back at Wayne Manor, Bruce, he's still trying to put the pieces back together, from his dead zombie parents. And he said that he can never really officially move on because he's constantly reminded of his parents everywhere he goes, especially because they have this documentary about Thomas and Martha Wayne. So he was just like, okay, maybe I'll go down to the event. He said, if I go to the event, maybe that'll help me unpack this trauma and I could officially move on when I watch the play. So he goes down to see the play. While he's down there, he bumps into Selena. Selena said she was there to support him, but she was really there to steal his mama pearls. Ivy, Harley, and the gang, they all show up because, again, since Clayface killed Billy Bob Thornton and he took his place in the movie, he's going to see his grandiose performance come to life and get the recognition that he deserves, not realizing the people are going to cheer for Billy Bob Thornton because that's who he turned himself into. They're not actually going to be rooting for Clayface. So everybody shows up. Harley's there. The Joker ends up showing up because he was hosting the damn thing. And He's just walking down the aisle. And there were a lot of villains here too that was here for this premiere. And then the Joker was killing me because the Joker came in and he was just like, "Hey, Kite Man, I see you over there, Swamp Thing, I see you." He was just like, "Hey, you over there, like two fists in the box like Joker do." And then somebody had asked him, he showed somebody his ticket, and then he was just like, and that's when he was just like, he was like, bro, the Joker literally said, I see the number for the seat that I have, and he said, "I'm gonna keep it 100 with you," and he said that I died. He's like, "I'm gonna keep it 100 with you." He's like, "These don't look like mayor seats." So he sat in his seat. He got run up on by Harley and Ivy. So they dragged him to the back. They tied him up. And then, Harley was just like, "Oh, I forgot my bat." She's like, "Let me go get it." And then that's when the Joker took the opportunity to talk to Ivy, because he was just like, "Hey, listen, how does it feel now knowing that Harley's a different person?" And then Ivy was like, "What are you talking about? She's still the same." And he was like, "No." He was like, "First of all, she used like the cheapest butterfly knot on me that she could possibly do. 2, she stopped your plan last night." And then he was like, 3, it doesn't take a genius to realize Harley actually forgot her baseball bat, which is something that she never does. He was like, "Face it, she's not the same person anymore. She's evolved into somebody else, and she's actually becoming a hero. She doesn't want to be a villain anymore." And then, that's when Ivy was just like, "Ah, shit." So then when Harley finally found her bat, she went back into the room, and then she saw Bruce. Bruce was in the corner freaking out, and then Harley went and had a conversation with Bruce, and then she was just like, "Yo, get it together." And then, she was just like, "Just go out there and face it head on and unpack your trauma. You're going to be fine. Trust me, you'll be okay." And then that's when Bruce was just like, "Well, how does it feel?" He said, how did Ivy take it when you told her that you were no longer a villain?" And then she was like, "Why does everybody keep saying that? First, the people, the public said it, then Batgirl said it, now Batman's saying it." And then, they had this whole big thing. And he was just like, "Listen, based on everything you've done," he was like, "Yo, you don't want to hurt people." He was like, "You're not a villain anymore." He's like, "Why are we still playing this charade?" So then she goes back into the room. Her and Ivy talk, and then Ivy's like, "Listen, you don't got to kill him if you don't want to kill him." And then that's when Harley was just like, she was like, "Yeah," she said, "I don't want to kill him. I don't want to hurt people." She was like, she said, "I'm in a crossroads where I don't want to be a villain anymore, but I'm not ready to embrace the H word." Ivy was just like, she was like, "Whatever what it is." She said, "Whatever you want to do, whatever you decide." She's like, "We'll work on it together and we'll do it together." And then the Joker was just like, "Yo, can y'all untie me now though?" And then she was like, "Why?" Because he had something that he had to do. After the movie was over and Clayface got the applause that he so richly wanted, but then he fucked it up because it wasn't the applause for him, and he told everybody like, "Oh, it was I, Clayface, who played the role of Thomas Wayne," and then the people were still chanting for Billy Bob Thornton. And then the Joker showed up, he was just like, "Oh, what a great performance, blah, blah, blah." But he said that one thing that the movie will teach us is that the 1% ain't shit, and it's time that we do something about it. And for the first time all season, the Joker, who is the mayor of Gotham City, has now had a face-to-face, one-on-one interaction with Bruce Wayne. And Bruce almost looked at him like he didn't even know he was mayor. And I'm like, dude, have you been so... And he has been under a rock. Bruce has been so much under a rock the entire season. I honestly think in that moment, he realized the Joker was the damn mayor. And that was crazy. So so then the Joker tells him, he was just like, "Look, bro," he said, I've been doing the numbers and everything. And apparently the Wayne Foundation has been paying their taxes. And Bruce Wayne, you're under arrest for tax fraud. And I'm like, really? So they put the handcuffs on him. They take Bruce out of the building. Right before they put him in the squad car, there was a moment where he saw Catwoman stealing his mama pearls, and then when they threw him in the squad car, he found his mom's pearls in his pocket, so she had a change of heart, so that was cute. And then Batgirl Barbara walked up to Bruce, and then she was just like, "Oh, we're gonna bust you out." And then he was like, "No." He was like, "I'll serve my time, so the good people of Gotham will know that crime doesn't pay, and everybody will be held accountable." And then Barbara was like, "Well, what are we gonna do about Gotham?" And he was just like, "First of all, yeah, I've been doing that shit all season." He's like, I've been indisposed the entire season. I ain't done shit all season. I've been in my basement working on plants, bringing my dead parents back to life. You, Dick, and I guess Damian," he was like, "Y'all been holding it down all season. Y'all defeated the Mad Hatter and all these other people, so continue to hold it down." And he told Barbara to leave the Bat team because, I guess like she is like the most sensible out of everybody, but he was just like, "Hold it down, and after I serve my time, I'll be back." So then he gets in the squad car, and then he dips, and then he goes off to prison. And that was actually crazy that Bruce Wayne is in jail now. The Joker is still mayor, and this is like Bizarro World. Like Batman is in prison and the Joker is mayor. So then in the last scene, Harley and Ivy, they have their conversation, their couples conversation. They decide that they're going to support each other no matter what, whatever happens. They kiss, and then then that was it with that. And then we get a final scene where it shows, and like that whole scene reminded me of the Gotham Knights video game, only with Harley instead of Red Hood. And to be honest, the more I watched that scene and the more I saw Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, and Harley, I was like, damn, I kind of want this instead of Red Hood for the Gotham Knights video game. But Harley was just like, hey, with Batman in jail, she said you guys could use a fourth. And she said, I'm willing to try the hero thing out and be a member of the team. And then obviously Barber welcomed her with open arms. And then, Dick welcomed her because she complimented his buns. And then the three of them jumped off a building, used their grappling hooks, and Harley took the stairs. So that's how the episode ended. And thank you for tuning in. So this was definitely worth the wait because it's been a long time since we got a Harley Quinn season. And y'all still telling me that the last season was like 3 years ago. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, I refuse to believe, like, it does not feel like it was that long ago. But just like with Young Justice, we were on a long hiatus. And now that the show is back, like I said, it was definitely worth the wait because it was funny. It was hilarious. It was serious when it needed to be. It was gore and mayhem. And I'm definitely here for it. And I'm super excited in a season 4. Is that where we're at now? Season 4? If we get a season 4, we better get a season 4. I'm excited about a season 4 because now she's going to be a member of the Bat Team, and it's going to be hilarious watching her along with the Bat Team fight other villains throughout Gotham City. So let's pray we get a season 4 for Harley Quinn, y'all, and Discovery doesn't cancel that like they do and everything else. So hit me up on Twitter and or Instagram. Show your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. Who's your MVP for this season? I mean, for me, it honestly has to be Bruce Wayne. Like, for me, the MVP of this season of Harley Quinn is simp Bruce Wayne because my man was killing me the whole, like, Joker's like right under him as far as the second concerned, but Bruce stole the show because they did something that I didn't think could happen. Like, they turned Bruce Wayne Batman into a bitch. Like I said, and I was all here for it. But let me know who your MVP of the season was. Let me know what you're looking forward to in a season 4 for Harley Quinn and where things go from there. Check out some of my other videos on my YouTube channel because I did attend New York Fashion Week and I posted a video of one of the runway shows. It is on my YouTube channel and link will definitely be in the description. Check out the Tacos and Geek podcast with myself, Justin, Sean, and Gotham Geek girl Nadia, where we talk about all things in the comic book world, answer all the crazy questions for both Marvel, DC, anime, and everything in between. So that was it, guys. Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed Harley Quinn. I enjoyed reviewing this. This is my first time reviewing Harley Quinn. And like I said, Discovery, please don't cancel this shit. Like, you already got rid of my Young Justice. I need me some Harley Quinn because I got to talk about this DC goodness. So thank you for tuning in as always, guys. Love you all. Thank you to everybody, all the new subscribers to the channel. I appreciate you. And until next time, hopefully next time for season 4 of Harley Quinn, don't miss when you swing with a bat. And I'm up this bitch.